Hi, everyone. Thanks again for watching. As you know, Edric loves freebies, and I want to help you get some freebies too. So, Shrek and Ritual have very kindly given us a free consultation session as well as a free 3-session starter pack. This is limited to only 20 of our listeners, so head on over to ritualgym.com/trials and get your free consultation and starter pack with promo code EPIC Shrek. Remember, it's limited to the first 20 only, so key in promo code EPIC Shrek. And back to the podcast. Sometimes the internet can be also a very scary place, right? Because you get so many differing opinions.
Yeah, that's also
You
the
know,
other thing I was saying. I was actually talking about this to my friends. Like, we are living in a time and age where people know everything. It's like even the clients that come into the gym. I mean, I'm not trying to diss any one of my clients, but truth is, these guys are well equipped with knowledge as well. They are just some of them even know a lot more things than some of my coaches do. Yeah. So, but here's also the thing, right? I mean, that's the reason why I constantly always try and apply what I learn. And there's also another thing I was saying is like when you go on the internet, it's not doing a research. When you are trying to find something, you are not doing a research. You are just trying to find a reference. Yeah, this is what everybody does because all the information is already out there. So it's a matter of yeah, like narrow it down to what you are trying to look for, and then apply. So this is where I guess coaches come in. We get all this information, we apply. So we apply to ourselves. Like for me personally, that's what I do. I will apply it to myself first. And then from there, if I find there is certain things I need to do to tweak here and there, I make my judgment as a coach and to the best of my knowledge, make all those tweaks, and then from there I'll introduce to the client. And
right.
once I introduce to our clients, what we want to do is we also want to observe closely. It's like how are they responding? Because different people will respond differently. Yeah. So there's also another thing about the internet. As much as I am thankful all the information is out there, I'm also actually worried because it gives there's too many information out there, and then it doesn't help if like like say example a guy who doesn't know anything, he just go to the internet, then he bump onto this so and so influencer on the Instagram, teach him to do, oh, these are the movement that gives you six pack. Because I mean, we are humans, we are very drawn to visual, right? So the moment we see, it's like, oh, that guy is a very good looking, his body looks good. So he does this. So automatically for most of us, maybe if I do something like he does, I will come somewhere close. But truth is, we do not know all the other aspect of things that this guy has to go through in order to look like that. Yeah, so which is why like for myself, I know I can be very repetitive. I mean, most of my clients know me like that, very repetitive, always talking about the same thing. Maybe to some people I am boring because I only emphasize on doing basic things, basic things, basic things. But truth is, the basic things is the one that work. And the worst part is like a lot of people don't even know how to do the basic things properly.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
mean,
those are
how
the
many
most
of our
difficult things to nail down.
yeah, exactly. Like just give you an example. You know how many like some of maybe friends or somebody you've seen, like they train for a long time, but still they can't actually perform. And when you see the movement, because you know how the movement is supposed to be, like they can't do the movement properly. And you just know that something is not right somewhere, right? Maybe he's not getting the right information or he's not applying the right information. Yeah. So that's the reason why sometimes I say yes, you can look at the internet, but I mean, do your best to find the right people to follow, lah. And that's where I feel like there's a necessity for me to like to actually also put something on my social media. To be honest, I'm not a fan of putting things and teaching people through social media platform because I have this like I can't say hatred but I don't like because there's a lot of misinformation that people on the internet is giving to the general masses, and then to see that some of these guys, and then sometimes to some extent people when I try to help somebody and people like telling me that you know you're wrong. I would last time I saw this guy on this YouTube channel. He said you're not supposed to do it like that. I was like, okay, I guess he's right.
Yeah, well, that's what they say, right? Whether you're right or you're wrong, eventually, you're right lah.
Yeah.
Because it's what you believe, is your perception of whether
Exactly,
you think it's
exactly.
right or wrong.
Correct,
So,
correct.
when you mention all of this, I've come across so many videos that have said that, you can't, don't do sit-ups. You can't do any more sit-ups. Oh, don't put your knees over your toes. Don't do stiff-legged deadlifts.
Deadlifts, yeah.
Don't lift this much over your head. Don't do, let's say, for example, cross-plane kettlebell movement. It will hurt the torsion will hurt your back.
Correct.
Like, that's not true. You think about it, right? Everything is based on your own human movement. Everything
Yeah.
is based on what you normally do. Whether
Yeah.
you're not going to be carrying logs everywhere you go, but what do you carry in your hands? How do you move? Sometimes you may need to jump out of the way if a bus is coming at you. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
like, it's a probably once in a lifetime thing. Depending on
Yeah.
how many buses you actually see in your life, right? Charging
That's
at
right,
you.
that's right.
The point here is that where is it that it's giving health and fitness such a bad name? When we talk about health and fitness, it goes into several different things, right? It's not just your exercise programs, designing this thing, and the vanity of wanting the perfect physique when it's really not necessary. It's purely for show.
Yeah.
But then what about the nutrition part? That part I get very freaked out, because some people will say, oh, this is how you do meal prep. This is how you do, let's say, for example, you only need to spend this amount on meal prep. But in the end, you look at the portions, right, that they give you, the kind of cuts that they use in terms of meats. There's no added vitamins. There's nothing. And when you freeze overboiled vegetables, what's the point?
Yeah. Okay, so you see, let's touch a bit on nutrition. Yeah. So since you should bring that up, I think it's a good thing that we chat a bit about this portion. So with regards to nutrition, so here's also the thing. This is something I learned over the last many years, right? The idea of writing a nutrition plan and you give to a client doesn't work. Okay, I'll be straight up. Okay, it maybe work for a very small percentage. Yeah, but to tell a person that, okay, you are gonna only eat this, okay? You only eat rice, broccoli, chicken breast. A person can only do that for a certain time. Yeah, so which is why you see, once again, these are all the things we need to factor when we give somebody a form of advice. Yeah, so for me, generally, like, you have to look into an aspect, like, say, example, John. John works like 12 hours. He works from morning to night. Do you think he has time to prep his meal? Definitely not. Do you think he has time to actually like find a certain type of food? Maybe not. Depending on where he works. Yeah. So you see, all this aspect, you have to try and try and help them out with this, as opposed to just telling them, oh, just make sure you have like 100 grams of protein, 100 grams of carbs, and maybe about 20 grams.
How to calculate?
Yeah, exactly. Because here's the thing, not everybody has the ability for all this kind of information, or the ability to just like slowly break down everything, prep their meal. Not everybody has that. So which is why, like, for me myself, generally what I would say is like the simplest. Once again, go with the simplest. Give them a simple example, as opposed to like, okay, Shrek, I usually only eat at the hawker center. Okay, so what do you normally eat? What do you think is the best food that you can eat? I guess I should avoid fried food. Okay, good. Okay, you avoid fried food. That's a very good thing. Okay, so what should I have? You want to have some form of protein. You want to have some form of carbs. Okay, and don't really worry about so much about the fats. But take a look at your protein. Is your protein a good source of protein? Okay, let's take our very common local dish. I like to use this as an example: chicken rice. Yeah, chicken rice. Just nice, right? We got a protein, we got a carb source. Yeah, but how do you ensure? Okay, so a normal portion size when you buy at a hawker center or any form of like chicha and stuff like that, right? They will just give you like a lot of rice and then a lot of just a bunch of protein. Yeah, like maybe like a small bunch of protein. So you know that something is a bit off down here, right? Okay, why don't let's try and ask them to, let's try and request for slightly higher amount of protein. So maybe, uncle, can you add me an extra $2 of chicken? Yeah, and then the rice. Okay, and if I mean the rice itself is being the way I'm this is based on my understanding. Chicken rice is cooked with like some broth and so on, so on. And there's a lot of additional things, maybe not necessary. So if you can decide to can choose to switch that to just like plain rice, you switch. If not, alternative is just cut a portion of it, because most of us are over consuming carbohydrates without us knowing. And here's also the thing, right? When I mentioned the term carbohydrate, everybody, oh yeah, carbohydrate. Don't eat carbohydrate.
No, no, you
That's the one.
must eat.
You must, exactly. Okay, let me put this out to everybody. Because common thing, everybody will, I'm gonna go on a diet tomorrow, so I'm gonna stop eating rice. And let me tell you guys, here's the thing. I eat rice every single day. You can ask my mom. Okay, and I'm not saying that I'm super good looking or what, but I look okay. Because why? That rice is something we grow up with. Okay, once again, this also boils down to the factor of how you grew up with. How were you like raised? I mean, for most of us, come on, rice is something that we eat since young, right? So to ask us to actually request for that client to stop eating rice, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
But if you ask him to like, can you try and portion your rice? Okay, so instead of having this amount, we have this amount. Can you do that? Can. Okay. Okay, maybe don't cut down too much. Cut down just a bit first. And then slowly. So you all these things when it comes to nutrition, it's not as difficult as how when you see like all this information show you, oh, you have to do it like this, like this, like this. If you're gonna follow it step by step, of course, it's a good thing. But once again, my question is, are you able to do that? If you are not able to do that, then find ways around it. Yeah. So for myself also, even myself, I mean personally, yes, I do cook my own food, even up till today. I mean this has been a habit since my bodybuilding days. It just carry over, and I know that one thing for sure is I enjoy putting food in my mouth, knowing that, oh, I got this amount, I got this amount, I got this amount, and I know one thing for sure, this will give me good energy during my workout.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for a start, usually like for when I advise client, tell them don't change too much. If you eat char kway teow during your lunchtime every day, so maybe now switch. One day char kway teow, one day chicken rice, one day char kway teow, one day chicken rice. And then after that, see if you can choose to like eat lesser char kway teow.
Right.
So eventually they slowly build their habit. And then when they realize that when they do their exercises, right, those days where I eat the char kway teow, my energy is like crap, man. Then they realize, maybe it's the char kway teow. So they will make that conscious effort to, I'm not going to eat char kway teow. Later I'm going to work out. I don't want my energy to feel like last week when I was eating char kway teow. So see, all these small things.
Yeah.
And once again, like for me, I like to use this kind of term to explain to people because it's a lot more relatable to the everyday, like especially our local Singaporeans, right? Yeah. Or people in this region, if you ask me.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is something that is very, very important, I think, especially when we've been to different gyms, we've tried different things, and the nice thing is that you experiment it on yourself. It's not like you just throw the program to somebody else and expect them to be guinea pigs, right? So
Yeah.
I guinea pigged myself, all right, in trying a keto diet, which I did absolutely wrongly to the point where I was consuming too much red meat and too much fat. In the end, I actually had what do you call it, gallbladder stone.
See,
So yeah,
glad
internet
you're okay,
internet
man.
research, stupid, right?
Yeah.
So I'm still here. But then it taught me a lot. Number one is that the importance of carbohydrates. Like just to add on to what you had mentioned, carbohydrates is like fuel, right? This is exactly what it is. The next thing is also people don't know, or at least many who don't know this, carbohydrates are so important for muscle recovery. So you still got to eat that little bit to help, because it really does help in that. If you go completely without carbs at all, right, man, I tell you, the body really feels terrible.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking carbohydrates for many of us. It's a source of energy. Yeah, it's a source of energy. So if you don't eat it, and if you like say example, take again the most famous thing, I mean, which you just mentioned, keto diet, right? In order for you to be what we call fat adapted, where you're depending on fat as your energy, it takes a while.
Yep.
And here's also the thing, like not many people enjoy that. Reason is why? Because you don't grow up like that. Unless you tell me at the age of when you start eating properly, maybe during kindergarten, your mother start
Yeah.
putting you on keto diet. That's a different story.
Yep.
Yeah, but for
Then your
most of
body will
us,
go
no.
through ketosis.
Yeah. I mean,
Easily.
frankly speaking, at the age of 5 years old, when I was growing up, what's the typical breakfast I get from my mom? Bread. Or when I was slightly older, my mom will buy me roti prata and nasi lemak, bro. I mean, this is fact. So if you're gonna tell me that stop eating carbs, it's almost like impossible for many people. For me, if I can put myself through that. I can put myself because I have the discipline to do it. Yeah, but would I do this for a long time? No. I'm still
Right.
gonna enjoy my ice cream every now and then. I'm still gonna eat
Yeah.
my pizza every now and then. Yeah.
You know,
So you see,
sometimes it makes me wonder, like the keto diet and all this, right? It's such a first world thing. It's really for rich people. Like you think about it, right? Like who the hell can afford prime cuts of meat every
correct.
day?
Once again, even you see, like when it comes to eating, right? It's all about sustainability, right? If you're gonna tell
Yeah.
me that, oh, I can eat keto because I can afford to actually
Wow, good for
buy
you, man.
this
Share
kind
some
of
with me.
yeah, and if you can like what buy organic veggies and stuff like that, I was like, good for you. I mean, personally myself, I can't do that.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I can't do that.
It's so bloody expensive, you know. Hey, one meal is going to cost you $20. No, if you think about it,
Exactly. Yeah,
just for the meat
yeah,
and whatever. Like,
yeah,
okay, fine. I'm trying to grow my own vegetables. You know,
yeah.
literally, I'm really trying to
Okay,
grow my own
okay,
vegetables.
that's
Just
good.
and it makes a big difference, to be honest. In terms of just the feel, you know, of growing
Mm.
your own things, being
Yeah,
sustainable at
that's
school.
nice. That's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but the keto thing was like, I really, you know, when I went through it, I was also wondering how the hell am I going to sustain this lifestyle?
yeah, yeah,
It's not it's not feasible for me. So
yeah,
it makes again, it goes back to that very very basic rule of,
yeah.
you know, and you have to be super honest with yourself. Can you
Mm.
afford such things? Is it hype for me? Is it
Yeah,
something to try? And
yeah,
you know, is it something that I can really, like what you mentioned earlier on in the podcast as well, is this something that I can do for the next 20 years?
yeah. That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know, this again, we're still on the topic of misconceptions, right? Of health and fitness, and when it came to the nutrition aspect of things, I have one question:
Mm.
are supplements essential?
Okay. Very good question. Okay, so supplements. Okay, so the word supplements itself, what does it mean? It's a form
To
of
add
add
on.
to add on, right? Yeah. So if you already have a well balanced eating habit, okay, so the add on may be or maybe not necessary. Okay, so what would I like say example, what would be essential? Okay, like all those micronutrients like your vitamins and stuff that you know that you are lacking of. Then maybe yes. Okay, it's like say example like basic multivitamins. Yeah, and then the other thing would be like okay, so for some people they are trying to ensure that they have enough fats in their diet. Yeah, so then that's where things like fish oil, yeah, I would suggest just to ensure that you have enough healthy fats in your diet. Yeah. So if you know that, oh no, I'm actually eating quite well, I'm ensuring that I get enough like fatty acids and stuff like that. So honestly, not necessary. Yeah. Or if let's say a person is trying to build muscle, so obviously he requires slightly higher protein intake. Okay, so let's say example, if I'm gonna try and build muscle right now, I require about 180 grams to 200 grams of protein. Am I gonna be able to get everything from food? Close. And the things that if let's say I'm like off by 30, 40 gram, that's usually where I will supplement it with like whey protein or any form of protein powders. Yeah, then I would supplement that. But as much
Right,
as I can, I will always try to get from whole foods first. Yeah, because
right.
whole foods is the one that is going to be your biggest bang bang for your buck. Yeah.
Right. You know, one of the things is that you mentioned that, let's say, for example, you need 100 grams of protein, for example. Now, misconception is that when we think 100 grams of protein, it means 100 grams of meat.
Yeah.
So how do we make it easy as a rule of thumb to better understand how much of this particular meat that we take in has how much protein?
Okay, so this one, I mean, the easiest way, I mean, okay, so this is the one where you will depend on the internet. Okay, you can go because there's many websites, but then also I guess I can't recall which website, but there are a local website where you can get like information on like if you eat local food, how much protein. But this kind of thing is a very simple thing. You're talking about like let's say 100 grams of chicken. How much protein does it have? Okay, so for me, everything is at the back of my hand. I can tell you like 100 grams of protein, 100 grams of chicken breast will give you about 20 grams of protein. Yeah, so all this information can be found on the internet. So easy.
Yeah.
So once you narrow it down, like okay, I need 100 grams of protein today. So how am I going to break it down? Okay, say example, I'm going to have 300 grams of chicken breast, uh, a few eggs, and maybe I have one serving of protein shake. That gives you about 100 grams. Yeah. So
Right.
these are just a simple way to find out exactly how much protein you need.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, when we talk about all this, right, the exercise programs, the discipline, the change in your diet, the improvements in your nutrition, and all this, right? Uh, Many of us actually tend to give up a lot of the time, you know, in that quest to stay fit and healthy. You know, I think one of the misconceptions moving toward this particular point is that when people think that you must be fit, the mental model, the mental image, right, is that you have to be super fit, you have to get it every day, that kind of thing. But in essence, right, fit and healthy doesn't necessarily mean that you have to look like that
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time, but it's more
Yeah.
of your daily function, how you are
Correct.
doing well, and of course, you know, not falling sick. That's the
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Now,
the thing.
in your opinion, from the clientele that you have, the people that you've met along the way, it's a long journey for you. What are the key reasons to why people tend to give up, you know, in this entire journey?
Yeah, very, very simple. This one I actually mentioned just now, somewhere earlier I actually mentioned is like people are too focused on like goals like looking as such, weighing a certain weight. Yeah, so when you put like an end goal to your whatever you're trying to achieve, right? So this is usually where people tend to follow because they will realize that it's not easy, especially like you already lost 10 kg and then you're trying to put on another like maybe another like you're just trying to lose another 2 kg and this is your last 2 kg to lose and it will always be the hardest, right? So
Yeah.
when they hit that point, that's usually where people say, shit, I cannot take it already. I'm struggling. I'm like already underfeeding myself. I'm already on caloric deficit. So this is not gonna. Okay, I'm just gonna give up because you see, they are trying to get to that goal so much. That's the reason why I always say, think once again, think health as something that is sustainable and something that you can do for a long time. So which is why there's this saying I like to say, health and fitness is not about how you look on the outside. It's really about how you feel on the inside. When I say about feeling on the inside, it means your system is clean, you are
Yeah.
healthy, and you feel good every single day. You wake up, you don't feel like you're beaten down. You don't feel like
Yeah.
I just got hit by a truck, man. Because yesterday woke up, oh, that squat was so hard, man. I hit my personal best and blah blah blah. So yeah, good on a good note, you probably hit what you want to, you achieve what you want to achieve. But on a bad note, your body takes a toll. So how is that fitness? How is that being healthy when you are waking up in pain? It doesn't make sense, right? If you say that, oh, being healthy is about feeling good, but you're not feeling good. You only feel good at that point when you hit, yes, I finally hit my 200 kg deadlift. But then tomorrow you feel like, I'm a wrecking ball, man. Seriously, I cannot wake up. I cannot get up from my bed and stuff like that. Seriously, how is that healthy? Yeah. And I mean, if I can give you another, this is a true example, myself. When I was at when I was doing bodybuilding, obviously I was looking at my best, right? And let me honestly tell you, when I was looking at my best, I was at the worst of my health. Doesn't make sense, right? I have six packs. My bicep was literally tearing my shirts. Uh, but seriously, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, that was me feeling at my worst. Yeah, the only nice thing is when everybody's checking you out, lah. Yeah, so
That's a
it
nice
doesn't
thing,
make
right?
sense. That just doesn't make sense to me. That was actually, for me personally, that was my turning point when I decided to like embark on this journey of like find something sustainable, find something that I can do for a long time, because it just doesn't make sense. Like, how am I actually looking at my best, but yet I am actually feeling at my worst? Yeah, yeah. So something I want to actually just put it out to everybody out there listening. If really fitness is about staying healthy, feeling good every single day, but if you wake up feeling like you are already beaten up, you are not properly rested, is that really fitness? Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Like, all boils down back to the basics of,
Mm.
what you need to do in your daily life. What is it that you need to continue to do it to ensure a very sustainable lifestyle that
Yeah.
you are. Again, I love that. That is how you feel on the inside.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
focus so much on making sure I feel strong, not necessarily being strong, but just
Yeah.
feeling strong.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
important thing. And we talked about this as well. About pushing the limits. How much
Mm.
is too much? In your mind, right? Like, we've gone through a certain training regime or regimen
Yeah.
back then,
Yeah.
whereby we hurt ourselves along the way.
Of course.
Whether or not it was the shoulder cuff, or whether or not it was the hip or hip flexor. I think many of us
Mm.
actually have hip flexor issues, because of
Yep.
load bearing back then. Everything was done badly. But
Yeah.
when you think about it, right? Do David Goggins, right? He mentioned before, when you start feeling pain, when you start reaching that point where you want to quit, you're only 40% done.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
do you believe that too?
Obviously, you will know my answer is no to that. I totally don't believe that kind. You know what's the worst term that people always use? No pain, no
What?
gain.
Oh, no, 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 no. Too
Bro,
much pain, you have less gains. In fact,
when
zero gains.
when there's pain, it means you have to find out exactly what is causing the pain. And when you know, don't push. Find out, go and solve the problem first before you try to push yourself.
Right.
Yes, I mean, there's always like, here's also the thing. There's always time and place where you want to really like, I want to have a hard workout today. I just want to feel like, I really want to sweat it out. I want to feel like I want to pass out and shit like that. There's time and day for that, but not every day. Like, honestly, personally, like a lot of people always think like, Shrek, oh, this guy is quite brutal. The way he trains is quite brutal. The way I train is, for me, this is what I can sustain for my body. And goes back to what you were saying just now, about who's that MMA coach? Is it Zara's
Firas Zahabi, yeah.
Firas Zahabi, right? I totally agree with him. I listened to his podcast where he was actually chatting with Joe Rogan. Right?
Yep.
So he was mentioning about like, it's not really about pushing yourself hard every single day and then beat yourself down and then try to do it every day again and again and again. Yeah, because it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. You want to push yourself to a point where you are getting stronger. And you getting stronger is you waking up the next day, being able to function and do everything better. Being able to sit and stand off from the floor easy, as opposed to like, I'm gonna get up. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I cannot. That just doesn't make sense. If you are going through every single day like that, you are definitely doing too much. This is just a simplest way to gauge yourself. Any point of time you feel like crap for 3, 4, 5 days continuously, then that's just too much. If let's say you are working towards a goal and your coach is actually like giving you a program, yes, you will feel crap on certain days. That's fine, because maybe this guy he's an athlete trying to achieve a certain benchmark or certain goals that he needs to hit. Yes, of course. So which is why it boils down to like, are you trying to be an athlete? If you are trying to be an athlete, yes, there will be days where your body will feel like crap. There will be days you don't want to even get up from bed to do that workout. Yeah. But that once again, like I said, that is for a person who is an athlete who is actually working towards a goal, a certain for or competition or some shows and stuff like that. But if you're an everyday person, it's like, do you really feel that working out you have to ensure that you push yourself hard enough to a point that you feel crap every single day? Yeah. So you see, it all
Right.
boils down back to like, you have to really know what you are trying to achieve. Yeah.
Yeah, completely understand that point as well. It's really, really, really important to know, not so much that we don't want to overcome our limits, but knowing, like what you mentioned, right? Step by step, progressively being able to overcome that.
Yeah.
And if there's pains, there are aches, okay, aches, I think once a week, it's legitimate to have those things. It means that because you're pushing, right, the limit. But other than that, every other day is about that slow bit of progress, at one
Yes.
additional rep, that 3 additional reps, just to get that in, and eventually it makes you stronger and stronger
Yeah.
and stronger.
Yeah.
It's the small little incrementals, right,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that are getting there. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just, it's
Even-
just so wonderful to hear that, lah.
Correct. Even as simple as like you know the term people always the bros always like to use, I'm making gains today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and make gains today. Today is all the day about making gains and stuff. To me, the term gains can be as simple as like, you know, I can't get that depth when I do my squat. And then after months and months, and you finally hit that depth where your butt is really all the way down and you feel good, and that to me is gain. Yeah, even if like the weight you were using, I was just holding a 20 kg kettlebell. Dude, you just did a perfect looking squat. That is gains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. And when you said only 20, you
Yeah.
know, I'm like, wow, okay.
No, I'm just giving an example.
Yeah,
Just
man.
giving an example.
Like, dude, I started off with an 8, man. Shit. Okay, but yeah, I'll get there. I'll get there. I promise you, I'll get there. 20 kilo kettlebell just came in the door today.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So okay, I'll get there. I'll get there. Anyway,
Awesome.
so you know, thanks so much for spending over an hour with us, you know, and
All good,
sharing
man. All
so
good.
much in terms of the ideas of what you have. And it's great to know that, you know, the kind of passion that comes through, again, wanting everybody to just stay fit and healthy and lead
Yeah.
a good life, a good long life, right?
Yeah.
Through fitness, exercise, and good nutrition. And also, important thing is, information is everywhere, but having the right discernment of where you get this and process this, so very, very important, you know.
Yeah.
I know one last thing that we always do with every guest that we have on the show is a simple 10-question rapid fire session known as the
Okay.
EPIC questionnaire that we have now. For those who have actually watched the podcast, you pretty much know all these questions already. So let's get straight to it. All right, Shrek. So here is question number 1. Let's go. One word that you love the most.
Humility.
One word that you dislike the most.
What if?
Oh, that counts. If you could have a conversation with one person, fictional, non-fictional, dead or alive, who would that be?
Actually, this is good. Only recently I actually started reading. This is actually based on my Prophet Muhammad. Peace be upon him. Yeah.
All right. And what do you say to yourself in the mirror every morning?
I actually don't do that, but if I ever stand in front of a mirror, I will say it's like, all right, it's time to get through the day and just do your best.
Name one superpower that you'd like to have.
Superpower, strength, like
What, super
extreme strength. Yeah, super strength.
All right. Favorite dish to eat?
Burrito.
Oh, sweet. Favorite travel spot or the next travel spot once the borders open up?
Bali.
Bali.
Yeah, because I miss surfing, man.
Oh. Something in the arts that you've always wanted to do but yet to do so.
Okay, this one may come a bit as a surprise to many. Dance. To be specific, break dance.
Breakdance.
Yeah,
Okay,
break dance.
cool.
Because I mean, you see me doing weird movements and stuff, right? Yeah, it's somehow linked to that, but I never have the courage to do all those things that all these break dancers do. But to be honest, I have so much respect for them, which is why that is one thing I want to do.
Yeah, some of the best jiu-jitsu players all started from there, right?
Yeah.
All right. What does retirement look like to you?
Retirement. I mean, in a perfect world would be wake up every morning, go surfing, in the afternoon go to the gym, and then in the evening getting a massage. But that's a perfect world that never exists for me. Lah. It only exists when I actually go to Bali. That kind of routine actually exists for me. But honestly, for me, retirement would be just me spending the last few days of my best life with my wife. That's it.
That's wonderful. And how do you want to be remembered? What's your legacy?
Uh, I don't think I need any form of legacy, but if I want to be remembered, I want to be remembered as the guy who has already did his very best to share his knowledge and trying to change the fitness industry lah. That's all. That's I mean that's a bit to me honestly. I think that's a bit much to ask for, but I would like to be known as that guy who just basically teach people the basic things and look at the fitness or training as something a lot simpler as opposed to whatever people have right now.
Wow, that's super awesome, man. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, that marks the end of today's epic podcast. And of course, you're with me and the very, very humble and extremely passionate Coach Shrek of Ritual. So now, as always, a simple request for this little podcast that you're listening to, please continue to support us, like, comment, and subscribe. And also head over to ritualgym.com to check out what they have over at the Ritual Gym. And not to forget, for free training videos, all right, follow Shrek of Ritual over on Instagram. He's on Facebook, he's on Twitter,
just a
and all that.
disclaimer. Sorry, just a disclaimer. If those of you guys are gonna follow my workout on my Instagram, please scale yourself. Yeah, don't follow exactly what I do. I mean, do to whatever that is good for you.
He said scale yourself, not kill yourself. Okay, so please, for goodness sakes, this guy carries huge ass kettlebells. Don't be that guy. All right, I know we talked about like not overtraining, so please follow suit. Don't do anything silly that is going to hurt yourself. If you're doing this knees over toes things, start slow. Don't use any weights. Okay, don't be a fool. All right, do your best every day, and that's Shrek over there, and of course there's me, Edric. So thanks so much for joining us in this week's episode of the podcast, and we are out. Peace.
Take care.